I'm mostly going to talk about passwords today, and the fact that we are, I assume that some of us here are building applications where users create accounts and that they somehow have passwords. And passwords can be more or less secure, and it's not always easy to tell which is which. And to start with, things can be dangerous, and we humans have evolved over, according to some at least, we have evolved over quite some time, and we have grown to learn what is dangerous and what's not dangerous. We know when a lion is dangerous. That lion is not dangerous because it's only a picture and it's far away and we're safe. If it would be here on the floor, it would be dangerous. We would know how to react. We have not the same instincts when it comes to password security. We don't really know these things because we haven't grown up with them. In like 2 generations maybe we will, but at the moment most people at least lack the knowledge to assess the dangers of the internet, of personality fraud and stuff like that. So we need to help our users to select good passwords maybe, and attempts has been done to do this by like forcing a lot of rules on our users. So we have humans. Humans are quite lazy. That's why Pressbyrån can exist, because it's way easier to buy something by taking 2 steps than buying it for half the price 5 steps away. So we will take the first thing that comes to mind, and that's quite often true when selecting a password as well. We are quite clever and we are quite good at patterns, but the lazy part makes us predictable. And also we forget things, and we know that we forget things, so we try to make passwords that we will remember. And then we have our opponents in this game. We have the computers. They are quite quick. They can test many different combinations quite fast, and they are good at remembering stuff. They know which combinations they have tried, so they can look through a large number of possible passwords quite fast. And if they know where to start, which they will since we are predictable, they can usually solve it quite quickly. So what password security relies on is combinatoric. Huge numbers. You will end up with huge numbers because you have lots of possibilities for each single letter in a password. If you allow for letters, large and small, and numbers and special characters, and you end up with this. And that's a lot for an 8-character password. But if we start imposing rules on our users, all we do is we actually, by imposing these rules, you have to use a capital letter, you have to use a number, you have to use a special character. People will, you have actually reduced the numbers of possible passwords because you have forbidden anyone to use the password A or 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, because that's a good thing, because that's not good passwords, and we don't want our users to have that password in our system, because then they will be upset with us when they get hacked, probably. So what we are trying to achieve by imposing these rules are to force our users to select something nasty, some nice, good password looking like yeah, looking like this. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that most people would select that password from the top of their head. They would more likely to, take an English word. We start with the most obvious one, password. That's not a strong password, and it's not according to the rules. So let's swap that one out. And I need the special characters as well. So, I can't. Right. So still quite weak. It would take less than a second for a computer to guess this, but I don't have a capital letter. So if I do like this, still less than a second. And this one actually passes all of our rules without having introduced any security for the real user. It has actually decreased the theoretical security of the system by discarding options for the for the end user, so the attacker can test all the possibilities. The brute force attack will be less secure for the users who would select a good password. The security goes down, and we don't impose any real security. So I would suggest that rather than trying to impose such rules, use a small tool like this. I've included a small tool from Dropbox, which is a small JavaScript file that you can use to calculate how secure a password is, and you can get lots of metrics about how many guesses it would be needed to select it. So if we were to take another password that's still quite easy to remember, but a little bit longer just. It would be a bit harder to crack. It's still English readable, and that's actually a bad thing, because if I remove the last character, it takes like 50 times more time to crack, because my computer knows that I will use English. And if I were to write this in Swedish, it would be better, because Swedish is not as common on the internet as the English language. But Italian probably better as well. But then you can use social engineering to, if I know who I'm attacking, I will know what languages they can speak, and I can use this. And for the centuries here, I have assumed that you're trying to make an attack over the internet. So I allow for 10 possible attempts each second. So of course you can, when you're building an application, make it more secure by, if you try to log in 5,000 times in an hour, you put that account in some kind of special shelf and handle that. But apart from that, it's good to also maybe not force people to use bad passwords. You can allow them to use good ones and help them select a good one, because this little plugin also, if I were to write password, it could suggest that this is one of the most commonly used passwords on the internet, so maybe not use that. So anyway, another common way to try to up the security of a system is to force users to select new passwords every 3 months or so. And there have been some studies on this, and they've concluded that what this more or less funnels everyone towards is the password summer 2015 bang. And so everyone will start using passwords during to maybe not the exact summer, but maybe something that happens during summertime. So sun or bathing or whatever. But it will be very predictable how people select their passwords. And I was at a dinner party this summer discussing this with a few lawyer friends. And when I said this, 3 of the people around the table got clearly uncomfortable and was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing when I get to the office on Monday. Because these are like actual lawyers with logins to social security systems and really sensitive data, and they end up doing it. So yeah, it's a real thing. And so again, it's not a super strong password. 12 days if you add the special character, but probably it's more probable that I don't know language. Yeah. So, of course, I'm not the first to think of this. Everything that's ever been intelligent is on XKCD. So here's the summary of my talk. More or less, that's about all I had to say. And if you want to read or hear more about this,